Ever since 2.0 released in Wuthering Waves, I have been playing this game every day for an hour since then, and have come to realize just how good this game is, and without a doubt, this has now become my favorite gacha game. Now look, my account was made all the way back in 1.0 on the first day of the game's release, and even then I enjoyed it thoroughly. The only real issue I was having were memory leaks, where the longer I played, the worse my game would perform. It felt like I was mining Bitcoin on my PC at times. I was forced to drop the game. However, as it was a very busy period of my life and I never bothered coming back until New Year, when I gave it a second chance, and the rest was history. That said, I definitely got too caught up in my history with the game, but I just wanted to make this quick little video to just talk positively about a game that I enjoy so much. To begin, this game has that beautiful, gorgeous, lovely and perfect skip button. I still read the dialogue in the game, don't get me wrong, but the skip button will be an absolute blessing when I do decide to make a new account, for example, or decide to do a challenge on, or whatever really. However, going back to the dialogue, I'm so grateful that they actually spent more than 2 pence on the game's dialogue. What I mean by that is that the characters actually have animations, they move around during dialogue, they have accents, they feel alive, instead of robots standing in a circle doing the hand to chest animation every 2 minutes, and that's it. Wuthering Waves makes me feel immersed. I want to experience the story when there is a lot of effort put into it. I actually find myself reading the dialogue and being really interested in it for once, which is something that my peanut brain usually would not want to do. But even then, I like how such a simple features in the game, and it also ensures that the game acknowledges the fact that there are busy people playing the game that don't have the time to go through hours upon hours of dialogue, so they just press the skip button to save their time if they don't have a lot of it. We're in a sea that completely blew everything out of the water too. You've heard it a million times before, but that's just the truth. It brought the game to new heights, and it's amazing to see that the potential this game has is being used to the fullest. Moving on to the next bit. The combat, a key part of this game, and I just love that the combat here is more skill based rather than how much money you spend. Of course, I am expecting an S6 character to bulldoze any content, but even S0 characters are more than capable of doing that, I'm sure. Of course, I don't have a big say in this, as I myself have only 23 stars in Tower of Adversity, meaning that I still have a long way to go, and that also means that I clearly don't have skill I need yet, because the characters I use are Carlotta and Jinshi respectively, aka both are T0 characters, meaning that they have what it takes to clear. I just have a lot of combos to learn, and I feel very incentivized to actually take my time to learn and understand the game fully, to know how the combat works, how my characters work, and how I can play better in order to be able to clear endgame fully. Clearly opening my wallet won't help, as I thought the same thing when I got Carlotta, but I was still forced to learn her combos and build her properly so she can function at her best. Of course, because she is my favorite, I have done that already, as I would say that my Carlotta build is pretty good, mainly because I have spent so many resources on her, and I would say that her echoes are alright. TLDR, I like how the game forces me to learn and understand it fully, and actually get skill at the game, which I definitely will do, as I'm absolutely willing to get rid of the skill issue I currently have in this game. Also, on the topic of echoes, this is a system that a lot of people don't enjoy, and I completely understand that. To give you a quick summary, you need these echo tuners on top of the echo XP materials, which is already more expensive than a lot of games. Then after that, once you have a sub-stat roll, you aren't guaranteed to get the stat you want, plus there are a lot of them in the game as is, and then if you do get the stat you want, let's say for example crit damage, there are 8 possible rolls that you can get, ranging from 12.6% all the way to 21% respectively. The gap is really huge, and it increases the RNG needed for a god roll. This can be extremely frustrating when you're trying to roll a perfect echo for a character, in my case, that being Carlotta. Personally, I don't have a problem with this system, as it makes my good rolls very precious and they're just beautiful to look at. I do think that they could have lowered the amount of possible rolls all the way from 8 down to 4 though. I did say could have for a reason, and that is the fact that they just can't do that. If they remove some possible rolls, what will happen to these echoes that did roll one of the now removed ones? Will they just get deleted, get updated, or will they stay the same and people will now have an echo roll that is no longer obtainable? Again, it would be really cool, but it's something that I definitely will not do, and I'm fine with that, because guess what? The forecast echoes are actually farmable, and this is what I love so much. The fact that you can grind for an echo you want instead of being 100% reliant on RNG to get what you want. Kind of. You still need to roll the echo itself, which I'm still working on. Either way, I don't really like the ecosystem, but it's alright. My standards are so low with gacha games anyways that it doesn't even matter much. I'm so used to it thanks to Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. This does remind me of Borderlands in a way, however. In case you don't know, in Borderlands, there are these things called god rolls, particularly in Borderlands 2, where whenever you drop an item you are farming for, it will roll a set of parts depending on which one it is. It can either buff the item stats or make it actively worse if the parts are awful, and if every part is the exact one you need, you get what you call a god roll, aka the best version of this item, aka it has the best stats possible, and the same goes for echoes, where although in Wuthering Waves it is a lot rarer, you can still get insane god rolls echoes with literally perfect stats, although the chance of that happening is incredibly low. A lot lower than that in Borderlands to let you know, but nonetheless, I do think that the system is quite bad as it is. I highly doubt that it will change because it's already been a year, so we are stuck with it. However, the fact that we can farm forecast echoes at the very least is quite possibly the best part, because that is honestly what takes up the majority of my playtime now. I'm just trying to get a perfect echo for Carlotta, and I don't think I'm gonna be stopping anytime soon. I also like how they've handled the gacha system. Not only is it the base rate for a 5-star higher, if I'm not mistaken it's 0.8%, and also the pity is lower by a whopping 10 pulls. It doesn't seem like a big difference, but honestly over time it does add up. So unlike Genshin and Star Rail where soft pity starts at 70 pulls, in Wuthering Waves it begins at 60, making characters cheaper. Plus, you can also buy their sequences in the store, which is very cool and makes things a lot better. Not to mention that the weapon banner is guaranteed, which is just chef's kiss. I always know that I'm guaranteed to get the weapon I want, which is nothing short of incredible. Also, you can choose which standard 5-star weapon you want to get in the weapon standard banner, which is even more awesome that the two standard banners are separated and you pull on the one that you want. So I do think that this gacha system is good. Not the best though, but it's better than what a lot of games have. My biggest problem with this game, however, is the fact that there is a monstrosity in this game that we like to call pineapple pizza. Seriously, Kuro is rage baiting like crazy with this one, and it worked for me, you bet. Okay, as the final bit, I also love when the developer is willing to communicate and listen to the community. And it is truly amazing to have a dev that actively listens to player feedback and puts it as top priority, making sure that there is a close bond between the players and the developers. For the most part, that will be it. I wanted to make this a quick video just so I don't go on for too long and I don't go on rambling for too long. Just wanted to appreciate what this game has, and also, if appreciating the qualities that this game has and other ones don't have means that I have now become a Kuro bot, hey, that's perfectly fine. Now don't get me wrong, Wuthering Waves is my favorite gacha game, not my favorite game of all time though. It's definitely in my top 5, but my favorite game is tied between Borderlands 2 and God of War 2018. Also, I know that there are a lot of other gacha games that are coming out this year, and I will definitely give a shot to Ananta and Azure Bromelia. But if there are any other gacha games you guys think I should try, let me know down in the comments. I've recently also been hearing about this Wizardry Variants Daphne game. Maybe I could give it a shot. I don't know, I'll have to check it out. But yeah, Wuthering Waves already gives me everything that I've wanted, and so I will continue playing it every day. For the most part, that will be it. Also, I've said this a million times before and I will say it again. I want to and I will bring Wuthering Waves back in this channel. I've done a challenge run on this game before anyways, and looking back at it, I would say that it's actually a pretty good video that I've made. Do check it out if you're interested. And I just wanted to clear this up really quickly. This does not mean that I'm dropping HSR content as a whole. No, not at all. This just means that I'm adding another game to the catalog of the games on this channel, so now we'll have 3 instead of 2. Either way, I won't be keeping you guys here for any longer, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.